Thank you for downloading another episode of the Saturday Drop-In podcast here on Highland Hospital Radio. On this week's show, I was joined by Mr. Tuesday Night himself. Don't tell the other two guys. Philip Walker was here to play along with some funny games. We had Guess the Year. We had non-fiction or fiction was our this or that because it was National Read a Book Day. And the Beat Detective had us spinning around wondering what the answer was. Lots of other things for you to enjoy as well. I hope you do enjoy it. Thanks for getting in touch if you have already. If not, send us an email to socials@hhr.scot and we'll mention you on the podcast. But enjoy. It's September and Earth, Wind and Fire. A very good afternoon to you. Welcome again to your Saturday Drop-In. My name's Tom Nelson and opposite me, not my usual opposite number because she's disappeared again, but somebody equally as virile and handsome and youthful. Phil Walker's here. How are you, Phil?
I'm doing fine, Tom. Thanks for the invite this week. Glad to fill in.
It was more a plea on the presenter group chat of go and somebody come and sit with me, please. And you immediately responded.
I'm sure there would have been dozens of requests, and I was favoured amongst others.
Funnily enough, you know the wee three dots that come up when people are replying. There wasn't very many of the three wee dots. Let's put it that way. We were just saying there, it was you who came up and said, like, let's get some September songs on, and we always like to come in and say, and that was Earth, Wind and Fire from 1978. You said with confidence because back in the day, you'd have been spinning those discs for that one.
You could fill a dance floor with a song like that in the 70s if you were a DJ, and a mobile DJ at that.
The best kind of DJ.
That's it.
Tell me, what was the hair situation back then? Was it a bit more...
I did have some. That's a bit cruel. It's a bit early in the show.
It's a bit early in the show. I'm going to talk about that because if you have a look in the social media, there is a picture of us both, the cartoonised Saturday Drop-In picture, and I'll explain how I came about to do that later on. If you're new to the show, don't worry. It doesn't get any worse than this. We've got some features coming up for you during your next 2 hours. In just a few moments' time, we're going to play a game of Guess the Year, where we've got some music clues, some news and headlines from a mystery year, and the idea is you need to guess along with us. There'll also be some clues on our social media as well. In the second hour, did you know it's National Read a Book Day today, Phil?
Indeed.
All radio presenters, particularly hospital radio presenters, we always check these things out to see what National Day it is.
Absolutely.
And being National Read a Book Day, I have got our quiz, which we do every week, called This or That. So we're going to play a game of fiction or non-fiction. I've got 10 literary bits of trivia, and you need to decide if they're true or false, basically.
I do.
You need to do it, and the listener.
Oh dear.
So yeah, you need to tell us if I'm telling the truth about some of my facts, and it's it's easy enough. It's 50-50 quiz. What could possibly go wrong?
Quite a lot.
Quite a lot.
Yes.
And then, not that we like to look forward to the end of the show, but at the end of the show, the super duper computer has picked a song for us. So it's already there. It's locked in. But what I've done is went and seen what the song is, and I've written a cryptic clue that we have to try and decipher to see if we can find out what the song is. So Stay tuned for that in the second hour. We'll also go on for a few other bits and bobs about what's been going on this week, and it's up to you as well to get in touch. So if you want to, we're live down here at Raigmore just now. The door is wedged open, so, well, don't tell the fire warden that, but if you are walking past, feel free to wave and say hello and pick a song. Or you can get in touch with us by emailing studio@hhr.scot and check us out on your social media, your Facebook and Instagram in particular. Go and see what the old graphic design system has done to represent Phil Walker on today's show. Honest, it wasn't me, it happened like that.
Aye.
We've got some more September-based songs coming up, but in the meantime, I've got a bit of Was Not Was for you in a few moments' time, which is a cracking tune. I'll see if Phil knows what movie it was used in. Was Not Was and Walk the Dinosaurs coming up. In the meantime, I've already had my breakfast roll, so I hope you're nice and well fed up in the wards. Let's get a roll to me with Delamitri. I hate talking over Was Not Was, but it's Walk the Dinosaur. The movie that it wasn't the title movie, Phil, but it was used in the 1993 absolute smash hit disaster Super Mario Brothers, starring Bob Hoskins as the titular character. Did you see it at all? Did you race out of the to the cinema to see that one?
No, I was never really into Super Mario, and
neither were the writers or directors of this movie. It turns out it's nothing like the movie whatsoever. There it is. If you liked the idea of guessing a year, well, great news, because that's what's coming up after this short break. The first song you're going to hear is from our mystery year. It's great news for Cliff fans, because we've got some Cliff Richard coming up But stick around because it's not just Cliff Richard. Guess the year is up after these important announcements. It's Cliff Richard. Of course it's Cliff Richard. You don't need me to tell you that. With We Don't Talk Anymore here on Highland Hospital Radio. We're just saying off there. Phil's here. Doogie Burns is here as well, but that's top secret. I'm not allowed to mention the fact that Doogie Burns is sitting here. He's only here. What was actually? Wait a minute. What is it? Tuesday taking over Saturday here. I've got two guys from Tuesday surrounding me, and we're saying that's one of my peak Cliff songs. I love that. 60s Cliff's nice, but I like.
Yeah, I mean, he did move on a little bit in his style. And we were talking about Wired for Sound as well, that sort of same era. And it was pretty good.
So that is our first song from our mystery year. That was Cliff Richard's 10th UK #1. His first since Congratulations. And this song would be the third best-selling single of the year. But what was the year? There's a few guesses coming on social media already. I'm not going to say who because there might be some right answers, there might be some wrong answers, but I've seen it. A few pings have appeared on the screen. Give us a wee email as well, studio@hhr.scot. Some clues for you. Born in this year, Pop Idol winner Will Young is born in this year. The Chancellor of the Exchequer, I was worried, wasn't sure who it was if I was having to change the title, but it's not her. It's Rachel Reeves was born in this year, Chancellor of the Exchequer. Currently, of course, things have changed around recently in the last 24 to 48 hours. Sophie Ellis-Bextor, singer of Murder on the Dance Floor. That was, I'm going to have to jump over to Phil here. Her mum was a Blue Peter presenter. I want to say Sophie Ellis, but it's somebody else. Janet Ellis, is that her name?
No, you got me there.
Oh, I've got him.
You got me.
James McAvoy, the Scottish actor, also all born in this year. But what was happening in the world of sport?
Well, in sport, down south, Nottingham Forest defeated Malmo FF 1-0 in the European Cup final at the Olympia Stadion in Munich. The only goal scored by Trevor Francis. Remember him? Keith in the Highlands. Keith prevent Inverness Caledonian, as they were at that time, from winning 3 in a row in the Highland League this year. And Keith then themselves went on to complete their own 3 in a row, winning the league for the following 2 seasons. Wales won the Five Nations Rugby. This year's tournament saw 3 of the ties end in draws.
Yep, 3 draws. I was looking at that thinking, you don't get a lot of draws in international rugby, but in this year you did.
Amazing. And finally in sport, the Scottish Cup final would be held between Rangers and Hibs. It was a 0-0 draw. The subsequent replay, because they did replays in those days, held 4 days later, also ended in a 0-0 draw. It would then take a second replay to see Rangers overcome Hibs eventually 3-2 with a Derek Johnston double and an Arthur Duncan own goal. I'm
just wondering, had they not invented the penalty kick back in this year? We need to go and research when the penalty kick. It must have been quite soon after, because I don't remember replays, I don't think, for cup finals. So yeah, we'll
no, probably by the 19. Say no more.
Wouldn't it be the first time somebody's given it away? In television, debuts on the UK this year. The Antiques Roadshow debuts in this year. Originally, it was hosted by Bruce Park, Angela Rippon, and Arthur Negus. That was your original lineup. There was also a debut in this year. I'm going to play you a theme tune, Phil, okay? Do you remember watching this show?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to give it away here.
Yeah, it's...
Minder. George Cole and Dennis Waterman, and yes, he did sing the theme tune, play Livable Rogue Arthur Daly and his minder Terry McCann. We also had Give Us a Clue. Lionel Blair and Una Stubbs play charades with a host of celebrities. Did you ever watch Give Us a Clue? I have a memory of this, definitely. Michael Aspel, I'm sure, was the chair. And you had Lionel Blair doing charades to another 3 male celebrities it was boys versus girls, of course.
Vaguely remember.
Yes. We also had Wurzel Gummidge appear on screens this year, starring John Pertwee, based on the characters created by Barbara Eufen Todd. Next up, we've got another musical clue for you. This was an ensemble who were famous for their musical pieces. Okay, it is the Not the 9 O'Clock News Crew sketch show starring Rowan Atkinson, Mel Smith, Griff Rhys-Jones and Pamela Stevenson, with comedy sketches, re-edited videos, spoof television shows and the ever-popular ending song. I've got one lined up here just now. That one broke. We were too busy laughing at it and then the computer froze on me. Well, that was I Like Trucking by Not the 9 O'Clock News. Phil, have you recovered enough to tell us something about in the news this year?
In the news this year? Yeah. let's go from the ridiculous to some more serious news. The British Empire was seriously depleted in this particular year because we lost St Lucia. It became independent. The Gilbert Islands, if you know where they are, and St Vincent and the Grenadines all declared independence.
In this year?
In this particular year, yep, they all went independent. Now, this might give you a big clue. Michael Jackson's Off the Wall album,
Ooh.
okay, was released in this year. Sold 7 million copies in the US alone. Went platinum in this particular year. Off the Wall. And a certain politician of a female persuasion was elected the first British female Prime Minister.
I mean, it's just a coincidence that all those nations declared independence. I'm sure it's not related. The reigning monarch at the time was Elizabeth II. The Queen accompanied the Duke of Edinburgh to inaugurate the modernised Glasgow Underground. This is your Clockwork Orange era. However, the first passenger service would be the following year. Just to narrow it down, on the 15th of January this year, British rail workers staged a 24-hour strike. That could be any year, of course. But there was more industrial strife as the ITV network is completely shut down by a technician strike from the 10th of August to the 23rd of October. Do you remember that at all?
I don't.
Radio Lollipop, the hospital radio service dedicated to children and young people, launches its first service in Queen Mary's Hospital for Children in Surrey, England. There are now 10 local Radio Lollipop stations across the UK and a further 23 internationally. I've got General Motors. They begin the sale of its Opel Kadett in this year. The following year, it would be rebadged as the Vauxhall Astra. And that's still going strong, the Vauxhall Astra. No, it doesn't look anything like what it was back in this year, but it's slightly changed. And finally, we've got the first JD Wetherspoons opens in Haringey in London. I don't know if that's narrowed it down for anybody. We've got some movie clues, or we've got some other stuff, bits and bobs and artefacts to discuss, though. What have we got?
Well, movies. Top 5 movies released this year, according to IMDb. Clint Eastwood, Every Which Way But Loose, with an orange orangutan. Life of Brian, controversial movie, was released this year. Say no more. Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
One of my favourites. It's kind of underrated, I think. I like the Star Trek: The Motion Picture in this year.
Yeah, that came out the same year. Alien, classic movie. Yeah,
Ridley Scott, wasn't it? Yeah.
Sigourney Weaver. Yeah, started the franchise, and James Bond in Moonraker. Now,
this is the most far-fetched James Bond ever. He ends up in space, doesn't he?
He's in space.
Am I right in saying the British Army turns up in space as well and they have a space laser battle?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that James Bond maybe lost its way a little bit over the years. But
it was... I think it was the beginning. I think it's been described as the beginning of the absurdity in the Bond movies. Like this was the fourth of Roger Moore's 7 outings as Bond, and it was the middle one. And after that, they got even more stupid. I think with some of the yes, there was a space battle with the lasers. It was like Star Wars in space.
Clearly, somebody went, "Hey, that Star Wars is doing well. What could we do with the James Bond franchise?"
Oh yes,
that's clearly what happened.
Yes, indeed. So there we go.
We've never had this before where we've had a guest of the year and you've brought something in as a show and tell.
Aye.
So tell the listener, because it nicely ties in with the NHS as well. Or what on earth he's brought in. I'm going to describe it to the listener. Now that's a cracking bit of kit there. It is a Sony WM6 Walkman with auto reverse. I'm just for the ASMR listeners who want to. That's a cracking bit of kit there, mate. With the auto reverse, we've got the volume control there. I mean, my son's in today. Will we call him in and see if he can figure out what this is used for? Yeah. We'll see if he's wanting to come in. Henry, he's playing on a far more advanced device. Henry, do you think you could figure out what this is and what it does? Can you have a guess at what it is? What do you think we would use that for?
CD player.
Oh, he said a CD player. Phil. That's not a bad guess. Close. That is a cassette player, so it's even older than CDs. You used to put a box type thing in there and it had some tape in it and it would play a song. But you only had... Oh, it depends how much money you spent. You would have a C60, a C90. Would you have a C120, Phil?
It used to break. C120. But it was released in... The Sony Walkman was released in 1970.
Oh!
No,
I think we got away with that one.
Just about got away with that. Almost gave you it all away.
19-something.
90-something.
We're okay saying it's 19-something, aren't we? I'll bleep that in post-production. It's all good.
Good stuff.
Will we have another song?
Let's have another song.
Let's have another song. This song, released this week in this misty year, written by Argent guitarist and singer Russ Ballard. Ballard would originally release a song 3 years before the release by the band that we're going to hear it from. It's also been covered by Brian May. He did it in the 90s as part of his live tours. But also South African all-girl group Clout did a version of this. Philip looks really confused by that one. Yeah, Clout. Substitute was their hit. Yeah, there it is. There it is. He's there now. He's caught up. Anyway, here's Rainbow with Since You've Been Gone. But what was the year? 19... There you go. Richie Blackmore's Rainbow and Since You've Been Gone here on Highland Hospital Radio. We've been asking you to guess the year. We've had a few messages in. Again, a well-oiled machine would have actually checked this before we came back on. Kerry's been in touch. The boy Genius has mentioned this. There was also another message came in via another medium who I will find shortly. just take my word for it that we've had a few messages in. And I think Phil, I don't think you gave it away. I think you did all right. But do you want to have yours? Do you want me to play the mystery voice to tell us what the year was?
Go for it.
Go for it then.
Go for it.
The year was
1979.
1979. And I should say for the record, Phil knew right away. Well, no. Did you know the year right away? Be honest.
If I'm being honest, I guessed 78.
You were 1 year out.
It was a year
and
out.
we don't do T-shirts on this show because we don't have the budget for it, I'm afraid. So that was Guess the Year. Stay tuned because we've still got another couple of games to play in This or That and Beat Detective here on your Saturday Drop-In. And we're back here on your Saturday drop-in here on Highland Hospital Radio. It's Tom Nelson here, Philip Walker with me as well.
Indeed.
Your counterpart was just promoting your show there, and every time his voice comes on, Shannon and I just dissolve. He's got a liquid gold. He's got a beautiful voice for radio, has John. He's a handsome guy as well, by the way. I'm not saying that he's restricted to radio.
I'm sure if he's listening or he's tuned in or he listens back, he'll give you some thanks for that. I'm sure.
He's certainly got a voice for radio.
He does.
Speaking of face for radio, sort of, I have an admission to make. So normally the graphics that we use for the Saturday drop-in, it's a little cartoon of Shannon and I that's sort of taken in this studio.
Yep.
And we changed. So when I went on holiday, Shannon removed me from it and added Karen. So I went, well, that's it then. Anytime you're off, you're getting removed as well. So we've had my daughter Jess has been in place. Karen's been back as well. So this week I was going to put you in it. But we use a bit of AI for this. But of course it's a bit rude to take somebody's picture and put it into AI without asking them first. So I didn't do that. I actually went on and I prompted AI to create to change the dynamic. So I sent in the original picture, which is Shannon and I, and I said, using the attached cartoon image, retain all the graphics and imagery, but replace the character on the left with a 60-year-old. I'm doing all right there.
Yeah, you're okay.
White, Scottish, bald male. And I said, I hope you appreciate this. He is cheery and fatherly.
Oh.
So I thought that was nice. How do you describe? And I think the image it's come out with, admittedly, there's a few laughter lines that it's added.
That's okay.
And you know what? I just want to say that I didn't tell it to make you all grey and me be no greys whatsoever, because my beard in the picture isn't quite as true to life, I think it's fair to say, as...
Yes, you're more multicoloured.
It's more multicoloured than Joseph's jacket. It's... yes, I actually need to update my character on the Nintendo Switch. So did you ever have a Nintendo Wii and then into a Nintendo Switch? So
I was never into
was
Nintendo.
It not your thing?
No, I had the Game Boy. I used to play with the extra stuff on the Game Boy, but I was never into the. If it needed connected up to the telly, I couldn't be bothered with it.
Well, when we had the Wii when it first came out, which is probably about early 2000s, I want to say, it's horrendous how long ago it was. You had to create this little character. And the little character hasn't aged at all, of course. So when we set it up, when we got the Nintendo Switch and we're playing Mario Kart, this character from 20 years ago, who is me, appears with thick black rimmed glasses, bald, and a completely beautiful, pristine brown beard with no greys in it whatsoever. So yeah, it's purely. I'll get round to updating it eventually. It's not a vanity thing or anything.
No.
But I'd hate to think if we typed that into Chat GPT, what it would actually do to my beard. I'm going to retain that image of how I looked maybe a few years ago.
These things are just fun, and I think people shouldn't take them too seriously. I mean, it's a little bit. I mean, you could actually. I mean, there are photographs that we have in the membership area.
Yeah, of course.
That we have. So you could actually have taken one of my photographs and done the stuff with that.
It's funny you say it, because see if I'd used the photograph that you're still going about with on your name badge, it wouldn't be. There's no grey hair there, is there?
Absolutely.
How old's that photo?
It must be. Oh gosh, at least 25 years, 20 years anyway.
If you go into the Internet Archive, so I don't know if you know this, there is a thing called the Internet Archive, and this device is sort of recorded pages for prosperity. So if you go onto it, you can dial a switchback. So go to our website, and you would go to the old address, and it has the old website as it was, like frozen in time.
Gosh.
Including your picture as it was then. So,
oh dear.
So if you do want a trip down memory lane, go and check that out. Internet Archive. Maybe there's a site that closed years ago that you've forgotten about.
Okay.
You might go and actually figure out and find that this thing has actually recorded a snapshot of it.
Right.
And you can usually get into quite a lot of it. It's quite interesting. So yeah, Internet Archive for you.
Internet Archive.
As we were coming in today, I was driving in with my son Henry, because he's here, because my wife is at the Eastgate Centre just now with the Girl Guiding Inverness pop-up shop. So see if you have a Girl Guide in your house, a rainbow, a brownie, a young ranger, and they're needing a new t-shirt, polo shirt, I don't know, anything else that a Girl Guide needs, you need to get yourself along to the Eastgate.
So they're selling cookies, Girl Guide cookies.
Do you know what? I don't know if they do. If they do, I've certainly not been provided with any cookies over the years.
No.
There's been no sweet treats coming my way. It's just requests for, can you go and get this from a hut? Can you grab these tables? Can you buy me something from Hobbycraft? The life of a guide husband. We should form a wee community, the Guide Husbands Guild. But yeah, because of that, Henry's in with us again, so he popped in earlier to have a look at the cassette player, and he guessed it was a CD player. He wasn't too wrong. But we were listening to 6 Music. That's our car choice. Obviously, you could listen to Highland Hospital Radio, but our car choice was 6 Music, and they were playing some Bob Marley. So I was explaining what reggae was to Henry. So shall we play 3 Little Birds, and Henry can enjoy it out in the hall?
Good stuff.
If that's all right with you.
That's all right with me.
I'll do it.
Yeah, Mr. Bob Marley and 3 Little Birds. And it just gives me the chance to tell you my Bob Marley story. It's not really about Bob Marley, but it's about that part of the world. Bob Marley, of course, Jamaican, but we were on holiday in Grenada a couple of years ago, and the afternoon quiz around the pool was, everybody join in and try and get the answers, you see. I think there's 10 questions, and I think if you answered Bob Marley to every question, you would have scored at least 6 out of 10.
Is it one of these ones where if you go to Liverpool, they maybe mention it once or twice that the Beatles came from there?
Yeah, it's the same idea. So, who sang such and such a song? Yeah, Bob Marley. Yeah, who was born in such and such? Yeah, Bob Marley. Yeah. Anyway,
one of the answers wasn't it Bob Marley? It was the Wailers. Yeah, who was Bob Marley's backing band? The Wailers.
So anyway, they do love him in that part of the world. Okay, taken from us too early, sadly. There you go. Right. Next, we've got another of our September songs. We've been a bit cheesy here, but the lady in question is 83 years old now, and I'm just looking at the songwriting partners that she's been involved in.
Oh, so many,
yeah, dozens. Way back, Carole King was working with Jerry Goffin, and since then she's worked with Phil Spector, Mariah Carey, Kanye West, Tony Stern, Jennifer Hudson, Mike Dean. It just goes on and on. Prolific songwriter and artist. She's
one of these people here where I would do, well, when we do our shows, and you always have a look to see, I wonder who wrote that. And it's amazing how many times Carole King comes up.
Yeah.
Like you say, prolific. I want to say maybe she'd done something with Burt Bacharach. I'd have to go and, for some reason I've got that in my head, so don't quote me on that.
He's
but
not mentioned. The person that isn't mentioned, of course, is James Taylor, who, James Taylor and Carole King were famous for their relationship, although they were never sort of formally joined at the hip, so to speak, but they did collaborate quite a lot on much of the music.
Well, we will have some Carole King now, sticking with the September theme, since it's our first Saturday drop-in of September. With it might as well rain until September. Well, we're into the second hour of the Saturday drop-in. The time is 1:05. If you need to know the time, maybe you're waiting on somebody to pop in and see you, or maybe you're counting down the minutes until they leave you alone in peace. It's important that we tell you what the time is. On Saturday, the 6th of September. Going back to our previous hour, if you've missed it, don't worry, you can catch it up later, but our guest of the year, we did have a couple of correct answers, and I didn't have the details to hand, Phil, so I'm going to name check them now. Kerry. Now, Kerry is a long-term fan of the show.
Right.
And she says she was tempted with 1979. So do we give her the full point if she's only tempted with 1979? But we'll give her the point. Someone who was absolutely committed, though, to 1979 is Neil McGregor. Now, Neil was our guest last week. Neil is the local fundraising manager for the Archie Foundation.
Right.
So they were in to speak to us about the forthcoming Archie Dunrobin Castle abseil event, which takes place on the 27th of September. Now, when Neil was in last week, he said there's not that many spaces left. They are strictly set at how many spaces they're allowed to have on the day, because they have to be there at certain times, and obviously there's the safety rules. You have to get your brief in, and so it has to be kind of regimented into it. And he was saying there wasn't that many spaces left, and they've already raised a good sum of money, hoping to raise, I think he had an aspiration of to try and raise 20,000, and they weren't far away from it.
Really?
Which is phenomenal.
Gosh.
Really.
Right.
And as if fundraising for a really good Highland charity that supports children and young people across the whole NHS Highland area wasn't enough of a draw, we'll be there as well. Shannon and I will be there for the Saturday drop-in, debuting the new gazebo, which we can only wait to see. We've been told by Ali that it's really easy to put up.
Well, yeah. I'll give you. He unpacked it all in the studio.
That's right, yeah.
One Tuesday night when we were he unpacked it all and started to try and explore. And of course, it's quite a large item.
Only Ali would try and build a 3x3 metre gazebo in a studio where it's not
2x2. Yeah. Well, it was really just to see how the poles worked and how the bracketing was. And yeah, it is a substantial piece of kit. It's not the sort of stuff you buy at a certain,
it's not your
store.
middle of.
No.
Well, funnily, we've got Little by Oasis coming up. That could be a clue. I don't know.
No, it is an awesome piece of kit, actually.
So we're really looking forward to having a proper gazebo to protect us from the Scottish natural elements, which we've had to contend with. I think Phil and I will hark back to the zip line at North Keswick, where we were the anchor points for the gazebo.
Yeah, well, we've got these huge weights now that come with it that go round the stands at the end, so it shouldn't blow away. Yeah.
That was good fun. I remember that. Yeah,
indeed.
They were almost the people coming down the zip line were almost getting blown back up the zip line onto the bridge. The wind was that strong at one stage, and Phil and I were desperately clinging on to any piece of equipment we could. Jinx, good times. Kerry's got back. She's very pleased that we're giving her the full point.
Is that right?
So there you go, Kerry. That's 1 point to you.
1 point.
I think she probably is in the lead. If we ran a league table, then she is. But how will she do with this or that, which is still to come in the second hour? It's National Read a Book Day, so I'm going to be quizzing Phil with some facts about books, and he's going to try and figure out which facts, in inverted commas, I'm giving him are fiction or non-fiction. Still to come. We've also got Beat Detective with our cryptic clue leading you toward the last song of the hour. Next up, when I saw this, when they were at Murrayfield Oasis, every time when they were singing Little by Little, they cut to somebody holding up a Lidl shopping bag. Don't go changing, Scotland. Don't go changing. It's only Cilla Black and Step Inside Love. Do you know what? I think Cilla Black had an amazing voice. So, very powerful voice, I think, in that era. But there's a very unfortunate clip of her in there, in the 80s and 90s when she did like Surprise, Surprise and that. And there's a scene when she's singing then, I'll send you it later maybe, where it's maybe not, she's lost her edge a bit, but she was a cracking singer back in the day.
I mean, but there was 2 or 3 in that. I mean, Petula Clark and Dusty Springfield, and
did you put Sandy Shaw into that category as well?
Yeah, just about. But I think if I had to pick who's my favourite out of the lot, probably Dusty Springfield for a particular style of voice. Petula Clark was very similar to Cilla in some ways. There's a bit of a nasal.
I know what you mean, yeah. Really strong voice as well.
Strong voices, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, this is the time in the show where we ask, are you ready to play Beat Detective? The Beat Detective theme playing here in the background. And what we do is we've got the super duper computer. It picks the songs for us. So we've got at least, a show is already there. And what we do is we, take out the ones that we don't like, and we put in the ones that are, relevant to, for example, September. We're playing some songs for that, and, the guest of the years, etc. However, one thing we don't change is the last song that the computer picks, okay? That stays in, and we take that song and we create a cryptic clue for the listeners and our co-host today to try and guess what it is. So I wonder, have you got it in front of you, Phil? Do you want to read out the clue for this week's Beat Detective?
So the clue is, the artist is a 2 and 2. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's what you're looking for, 2 and 2. And the clue is, Comedy Bob's partner has some admiration material.
I'm very pleased with myself over this one.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
I think Phil knows he's got it.
Yeah, I've got it. Yeah.
And the song clue, shall I do the song clue? I'll go for it.
You do the song clue.
So the song it's just a one-word song, and the clue is, with these key changes, my head is spinning. Oh, there's so much in there. That's a good clue, I think. I'd like to think there's going to be a lot more people get it this week. Mm-hmm. Although it's easy when you do it. It's easy. You know, you've written quizzes before.
Yeah.
And you think, that's an easy question. Well, it's great. It's easy if you've written the question. You know what the answer is, yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm putting together the themes on a Tuesday night. My colleagues sometimes look at me as if I've got two heads and say, "You're never going to get that. How did you get that? No, I don't get." And I must admit, some of mine perhaps are a bit obscure. But when you've done it yourself, you always think it's straightforward.
But the thing is, you are one of the stalwarts of Highland Hospital Radio. You've been here for a number of years, doing the show. So it's difficult to do something unique. So you find yourself probably doing themes that are a bit more, shall we say, a bit more challenging for people to get, because you find yourself being a bit more obscure.
I was naughty 2 weeks ago because I said, get the theme for the show. I said, nobody's going to get this, and I told everybody at the start of the show, you're not going to get this. And it was actually tracks off a CD that I found in the glove compartment of my car that I'd recorded in 2010.
Oh, a burnt CD?
It was a burnt CD from 2010. It had about 20 tracks on it. So I played tracks off that.
I'd say that's the modern day mixtape, but even that's not modern day anymore. It's
anymore.
The modern day Spotify playlist that you send. Do you think the kids these days, do they make up Spotify playlists to send to each other?
I don't know. I mean,
there's a question. If there's any young people listening,
if you've watched the movie, have you seen High Fidelity?
Yes.
Yeah. Where he's putting together the mixtape.
Mm-hmm.
10 songs to play to your girlfriend and all sorts. I don't know. Kids don't do that anymore.
I don't know. Maybe they do. We'll need to ask a young person. Wait until Shannon comes back. She's still in the young team. You can ask Etcham on Tuesday night. Do young people in this day and age make up playlists on the Apple Music, Spotify, etc., and send it to a potential betrothing one? Right, when we come back after this, we are going to play a game of this or that, where the title is fiction or non-fiction. So as we delve into the big bag of cliche songs that you can play, I've got some Fiction Factory. I'm quite pleased with myself here. I want to say are they Aberdeen or Dundee Fiction Factory? Perth, are they?
Yeah.
There you go. Feels like heaven here on Highland Hospital Radio. Fiction Factory and Feels Like Heaven. A great track here on Highland Hospital Radio. Well, we can't put it off anymore, Phil. It's time to play this week's edition of This or That.
You got me on this the last time. It was ABBA songs, number one.
Oh, so it was,
yeah. Or nay. And I think I got 6 out of 6, and then I didn't get any of the last 4.
Well,
right.
We'll see if you're a well-read person. I don't know. You don't have to be well-read. So it is National Read a Book Day. So,
right.
If you're well-read, great, enjoy. If you maybe only now and again pick up a book, try it today. I'm not a good reader myself. I struggle with reading, to be honest.
So do I, in recent years. I mean, when I was younger, perhaps, but in the last 20 years.
It's weird. I find I need to be very interested in what it is I'm reading about. So at work, if you give me a technical manual or a rule book or something, I will read it and I'll retain it and I'll regurgitate it. Mm-hmm. But like fiction and stuff, it just doesn't really do it for me. But each to their own. So I've got 10 statements or 10 sort of potential facts around famous literary pieces or the people who wrote them. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to ask you if it's non-fiction or fiction. So of course, non-fiction means it's true. Fiction means it's not true.
Made it up.
Which
right.
We're no doubt going to get confused by this. We might just stick with true or false, actually, because we're going to struggle with this.
Let's go for it.
So, number 1, Mary Shelley wrote Frankenstein when she was only 18 years old. True or false? Is it fiction or non-fiction?
I think that fact is true.
You would be correct. So it's non-fiction.
Thank you.
We'll stick with true or false, yeah. So yes, indeed, she began writing it at 18 during a summer trip in 1816, the famous Year Without a Summer, and it was published when she was 20, 2 years later. So well done. Number 2, Shakespeare holds the Guinness World Record as the best-selling fiction author of all time. Shakespeare holds the Guinness World Record as the best-selling fiction author of all time.
I think that's false.
You think that is false. You would be correct. It is fiction. Well done. Yes, it's actually... Do you know who it is who holds the record, just coincidentally?
For the Guinness Book of Records for the most fiction.
Most sales for fiction, yeah.
Most sales for
the best-selling fiction author of all time.
fiction. Give us a clue. Is it
Your clue is who done it.
It's a whodunit. Oh, Agatha Christie.
It's Agatha Christie, yes.
Yeah.
Her works have sold over 2 billion copies worldwide, second only to Shakespeare. So Shakespeare is second.
Good.
Well done. You're 2 for 2
for
so
two.
far.
Oh dear.
Number 3, J.R.R. Tolkien. Any connection? You're always happy now.
Oh, aye, happy with that.
In Hobbit, Gollum was originally written as a friendly character who willingly gave Bilbo the ring. Is that true or false? Fiction or non-fiction?
That's rubbish. That's got to be false.
We're getting hand signals from
Right.
outside whether you think it's true or not. You think it's false?
I
You
think
think you think that's...
I think Tolkien would have written Gollum in character that we actually see.
You're wrong, I'm afraid.
There you go.
Originally, in the first 1937 edition, Gollum cheerfully gave Bilbo the ring as a prize. Tolkien later rewrote the scene to align with the Lord of the Rings. So you've
That's
dropped...
cheating then.
Yeah.
Right.
We're lucky we've got to question 3. We've not got it all wrong yet. But, number 4 we're on to now. George Orwell's real name was Eric Arthur Blair. True or false? Fiction, non-fiction?
Well, I'd have to get... I don't think Orwell was his real name, but I don't think it was... Well, why would you make... Okay, let's say true. Let's go
You
true.
say true, which is non-fiction, and you would be correct. He chose the pen name George Orwell, inspired by the River Orwell in Suffolk in England.
There we go.
Number 5, we're at the halfway point. In Moby Dick, the whale's name is never actually mentioned. In Moby Dick, the whale's name is never actually mentioned. Is that true or false? Am I telling you a fact?
I think that's false. I think we do get the name somewhere.
You think the name does get mentioned? And you would be correct. Yes, the name Moby Dick is mentioned by the name in the novel. However, it isn't until chapter 36 when Captain Ahab says, "It was Moby Dick that dismasted me." Dismasted. So we're at the halfway point. You've only dropped 1 so far.
Yeah,
yeah, 4 and 1. Number 6. Disney's 101 Dalmatians was based on the 1956 novel by English author Dodie Smith called 101 Labradors.
That's got to be false. If that's true, I don't know.
No, you're right. I made that one up. Sorry. Nope, it was always Dalmatians. But I thought it was a good one to try it out.
Nice try.
I thought you might have the double bluff might have been enough to get you.
Good.
Number 7. Jane Austen published her novels anonymously during her lifetime.
I think she went under a pseudonym of some sort. Yeah, I think that's true.
That would indeed be non-fiction. Correct. Her works were published as being written, in inverted commas, by a lady. Her identity wasn't revealed until after her death. Jane Austen.
Yep.
Never really known for it then. Number 8. Leo Tolstoy's War and Peace holds the Guinness World Record for the longest novel. In terms of word count.
In terms of word count.
Not in terms of how long you choose to read it, but word count, yes.
You're tempted to say that's true. I would say that's false.
You think that's fiction, do you?
Yeah.
You're correct. The actual record holder is Marcel Proust's In Search of Lost Time with 1.2 million words. War and Peace only has 560,000.
Yeah, I thought Proust would have been long. I've read it a couple of times, yeah.
A couple of times. Number 9. In Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, the Mad Hatter is never actually called Mad Hatter in the text.
Never call Mad Hatter.
In Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, the Mad Hatter is never actually called Mad Hatter in the text.
I think that's right. I think it was just referred to as the Hatter.
Ooh.
God, that was
You'd be
wrong.
correct.
I'm correct.
You
Oh,
are
God,
correct,
yeah.
yes. Lewis Carroll only refers to him as the Hatter.
Yeah.
The phrase mad as a hatter was already a popular saying at the time, so it was implied. It's number 10 here. You've only dropped one, so you've got a potential for 90% here.
Oh,
Pressure.
pressure.
We'll see how we get on with this one. The final one is in the original draft of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. The character of Jacob Marley was in fact two brothers called Jacob and Robert Marley. Is that true or false?
I don't think the second one was called Robert. It was Jacob and something else. I think there was. So I think it's wrong. Jacob and Robert is wrong.
So you're going with fiction on a technicality. Is that what you're?
Well, it was Marley. Yeah, you wrote it. It was Marley and it's Jacob. I don't think the other brother was called Robert. No, he was called. He was Robert. Was it Robert? Yes. Jacob and Robert is true.
So you're saying Jacob and Robert was how it was written in the original text. You're wrong.
I should have stuck to my first guess.
Well, but you were wrong even then as well. To be
Was
fair, right? It was always Jacob Marley,
Yeah.
right? Jacob and Robert Marley were created in the Muppet Christmas Carol to allow Stadler and Waldorf characters to feature.
Of course.
I made that one up, and I'm quite chuffed that you got it wrong. I'm very pleased.
Because I was thinking of the Muppet Christmas Carol. That's what was
That's
confusing
exactly
me.
it.
I should have stuck with the text.
You should have stuck with it. See, you'll know for future reference.
Oh well.
I can't play the Muppet Christmas Carol, can I?
No, you can't.
I'll get into trouble. I'll get into trouble off the chair. Instead, we were thinking, have we got any songs with book in the title? And I rather triumphantly shouted out at the top of my voice, I'll play that ABC song, The Book of Love. And Philip, quite rightly, just gave me a death stare then. You mean The Look of Love, Tom? Yes, I do. Well, here it is. Well done. You got 8 out of 10. That's
Thank
not
you.
bad.
That's
You
not
should be
bad.
pleased with that.
That's not bad.
We'll be back up. Let us know how you got on, folks. studio@hhr.scot. It's the voice of the Beehive. I wonder whatever happened to them, because it's not I don't think there's a lot of people who would know the voice of the voice of the Beehive, but Monster and Angel from 1991. I happen to know that our beat detective, I don't think it's far away from 1991. I'm going to say it's 1992. No, it's 1991 as well.
There you go.
Now that's pure coincidence. Well, it's we're almost at the end of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So it's time for us to give away the answer to our beat detective. Before I'll let Phil announce it, but I'm going to quickly just say hello to two Karens and Kerry who have been in touch with us, all who have got it correct for this week's beat detective. So well done to you. You don't win anything except glory. So thanks to Karen, and Kerry who have been in touch on social media to tell us the correct answer. I'll read out the clue and I'll let Mr. Philip Walker give us the correct answer. It was your artist, so it was 2 words and 2 words. Comedy Bob's partner has some admiration material. And your song was a 1-word song. With these key changes, my head is spinning. So I'll ask you this like this, Phil. Who would Comedy Bob's partner be, do you think?
Vic Reeves.
Vic Reeves.
Yep.
And some admiration material. This I was particularly pleased with. Admiration material.
Well, stuff that you might hold in wonder and amazement.
This guy gets it. The wonder stuff. And with these key changes, my head is spinning.
Oh, I'm just so dizzy. Yeah.
He's done this before. Well, folks, we'll wish you a very speedy recovery. Stay tuned to Highland Hospital Radio. Lots for you to enjoy. I'll be back next Saturday. He'll be back on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
We'll leave you with Vic Reeves and Dizzy. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
And there we go, folks, another podcast of the Saturday Drop-In. Thank you so much for taking the time to download and listen in. Don't forget to check out hhr.scot, that's the full Highland Hospital Radio website, for all the different shows and other presenters that you can enjoy as well. I'll be back next week with Shannon for another Saturday Drop-In. Until then, have a great week and we'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.